Alright, Jake Paul and Tommy Fury are officially set to actually fight in a boxing ring. They say the third time's the charm, and I really do hope it is. But now that the fight's official, I don't think it's gonna go how you think. Sure, Tommy Fury is a professional boxer. Sure, Jake Paul is a YouTube boxer. But when it comes down to it, who's really had the harder opponents? Who's really had the most impressive performances, and who's really gonna win this fight? I think we first need to look at Tommy Fury's last performance, which I understand was a spar.
Oh my fucking god. Sorry.
Excuse the language there, folks.
And for that reason, I don't think that we can fully judge based off of Tommy Fury's last performance. But with that being said, when you go to a lot of Tommy Fury's other performances, he's got some impressive highlights. He's got a very legitimate highlight reel with some knockouts in there. But when you go to those guys' records, there's really nothing there. Guys with 2 wins and 7 losses. I mean, you can't tell me that's a challenging opponent. And sometimes Tommy Fury's fought guys that were actually undefeated. For example, the dude that he fought on Tyson's undercard. That dude was undefeated before that fight, if I'm not mistaken. But when it comes down to it, was that guy really good?
No.
Absolutely not. Look at the dudes that he's fought. You'll see what I mean. And Tommy couldn't get him out of there. If you put a guy like Tyron Woodley in there with any of Tommy Fury's last opponents, it's going to be a very, very quick night. And people can say all they want about how Tommy Fury has had more boxing experience than Jake Paul, and I completely agree with that, but so did Anderson Silva. So did Ben Askren, technically, and so did Tyron Woodley. When it comes down to it, Jake Paul has been in deeper waters. Maybe Tommy Fury's had more amateur fights, or more fights in general, but he hasn't been challenged that much at all. What I'm trying to say is, in my opinion, I think Jake is going to win this, and I think he's going to do it without much of a trouble, but there are also a few things that Tommy presents that could cause Jake some problems. When it comes down to it, Jake has had a lot of challenging opponents, but he's never fought a professional boxer. As much as I've just kind of shit on Tommy Fury, he is still a legitimate professional boxer who has legitimate boxing experience. He's been in a boxing gym since he was a child. It's clearly in the family. His older brother is the heavyweight champion of the world, okay? Tommy Fury is going to pressure Jake Paul like none of his other opponents have.
And straight away, looking for Binyenda. Big attack from the opening bell, and the right hand puts him down.
If Tommy Fury pressures Jake Paul, he'll bring a new type of pressure that none of Jake's opponents have ever done. He's got a longer jab. He's more of a boxer. Like, none of the other guys that Jake fought were literally, like, made to strike. I mean, I guess you could say Woodley. I mean, he was a very dangerous fighter in his own right. You know, he was known for his striking, but when it comes down to it, none of them were literally born and bred to box. And I see a lot of people say it, man. If Tommy Fury puts pressure on Jake Paul will crack, but I actually think it's the opposite. I think that Tommy Fury's route to success is using that long jab and making it a boring fight. If he tries to exchange with Jake Paul, it will not end well. Jake 100% has more power than Tommy Fury. Another thing I think that represents a challenge for Jake Paul and Tommy Fury is Tommy Fury's a younger guy. He's the youngest guy he's ever fought. He's got more boxing experience. I think he's taller. I could be mistaken there. I know for a fact he's got a longer reach. And he has literally spent more time in the gym. So, on paper, Tommy Fury should absolutely win this fight without much of a struggle. But I really think a lot of people are going to be surprised. And I think there's a possibility that this fight isn't even a competitive fight. Let's take a look at the strengths that Jake Paul has. Because like we've said, Tommy Fury has a lot of things that Jake Paul has never seen before, but Jake Paul has a lot more things that Tommy Fury has never seen before. When it comes down to it, Tommy Fury has never been clobbered in the head with a right hand like Jake Paul can. Jake Paul holds more power, and he's more of a danger than anyone else. Tommy Fury has never been a main event on a big show. And if we're being 100% honest with you, I'm sorry if you're a Tommy Fury fan that's watching this, but are you really going to travel from the UK, where most of his fan base is, over to Saudi Arabia? With that being said, the same could go for Jake, but I mean, he's already had that experience. He's literally fought Deji in the UK, okay? Do you understand what happens with that? You get egged in the UK. You get literally shit thrown at you in the UK, okay? So even if the fans are against Jake, he thrives off of that. He's made himself the villain for a reason. And at the end of the day, Tommy Fury is supposed to be the good guy, and I think it's going to get to a point where when he gets to Saudi Arabia and there's not that many people cheering for him, as there are usually, he's going to realize very quickly he might be in over his head. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. That's just my personal opinion on this fight. I think that Jake Paul is going to win it. I don't know if it's going to be a knockout yet. I haven't seen enough from both guys in their current training camps to really be able to tell, but as of right now, I've got Jake Paul by at least a decision. Seriously though, I'm interested in your takes. I'm interested in what you have to say. If you want to subscribe, that'd be great. Follow my Instagram. I know it's on here. I got some big stuff with my own boxing career coming on there soon, so if you want to follow that, that'd be great. Also, Drink Prime.
What's the beast to a dinosaur, nigga? Pterodactyl mixed with a T-Rex. T-Rectodactyl.